People are worried, even some people who voted for you saying, I didn't sign up for this. So how do you answer those concerns?
Well, they did sign up for it, actually, and this is what I campaigned on.
Concerning the tariffs, which economists say are going to raise prices, you said, quote, hang tough. Yeah. It won't be easy. You said that to the American people. Is that what Americans should expect, some hard times?
I've said that during my campaign. Look, we won a campaign by a lot. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by a lot. You know, we had a tremendous campaign. I said all of these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period. We've been ripped off by every country all over the world. They're laughing at us. They thought we were stupid.
Good morning, you guys. Happy Thursday. So you guys just seen that clip from Phillips tonight. So throughout the video, what they were basically talking about was tariffs. They were talking about Donald Trump's approval ratings. They were talking about the public being unhappy with the financial situation that our economy and the financial situation that our country is in. And Donald Trump had an interview on ABC News. And you know what I took away from the interview? Well, there were a lot of things, but I was like, I can't believe our country voted in someone that's so mean. The guy basically was asking him about the immigration and the fact that this is the first time that Donald Trump is underwater regarding immigration. Donald Trump, people like to say, I think there were more elements to it, but people like to say that Donald Trump was basically elected because of immigration and the economy, right? And he had done very well in regards to approval ratings and pollings regarding those two things, immigration and the economy. I believe race and sexism has something to do with it, but I'm going to digress on that point. We're going to get back to what the country is saying. So people are saying that he won because of immigration and the economy. He's underwater regarding both things now. And so Donald Trump is basically going out and saying, oh, we're fine. Everything is fine. It's going to be a little pain. Every time they say little pain, I cringe because most Americans, I think it's a high percentage of Americans that are living paycheck to paycheck. So they cannot afford temporary pain, small pain, little pain, interval pain. They can't afford those things because they're already in pain. So every time I hear a politician say, well, yeah, tariffs are going to cause a little pain and we have to be patient. It's difficult to be patient when you're already behind on your mortgage. And it's the reason that treating our economy and our country like a business does not work. Because in business, the only thing you care about is profit and loss. You don't necessarily care, and your overhead, of course, but you don't necessarily, like people, when you're working for a company, I'm going to break it to you, your company do not care about you. The company do not care about you. If you die, if anything happens to you, they will replace you by Monday. You croak on Friday, you will be replaced Monday. Companies do not care about people. They care about profit. They care about liabilities and expenses. That's what they care about, because they care about their income statement and their balance sheet. But you cannot treat a country like you treat a company. And Donald Trump, Elon Musk, all these rich billionaires, they don't understand that, because to them, this is just like a business practice or something. They don't see real lives. They don't see people that's out there having a difficult time feeding their children. They don't understand that. They don't know what that's about because they never had to live it. So this whole thing, we need a businessman in office, I always cringed at that idea, because our country is not a company. We have to take in consideration people and morality and being decent and helping the least among us. Like, that's what make our nation great. That's what the United States of America is supposed to be about. We're supposed to be about welcoming the, what is it? I forgot. I'm blanking on the saying, but we are supposed to welcome people. That's why we have asylum and all of those things. You come from another country, you're saying that you feel like you're in danger. America, Lady Liberty, we're supposed to welcome you. You're supposed to be welcomed here. You're supposed to be able to be who you are, unapologetically, and you're supposed to be accepted as long as you are abiding by our rules and you're not harming anybody. And that's not what our country is about at this moment, and that is painful, to be honest. But okay, Phillip, because I went on my little, So Abby Phillips, so Donald Trump had this interview, and the interviewer was basically asking him about immigration and the fact that, he's underwater, and the guy that they sent to El Salvador, I keep blanking on his name. I see his name every day, all day, but for whatever reason, when I pick up this camera, I blank on his name. I don't know why. But Donald Trump was basically saying that the guy was MS-13, which of course is like this big, brutal gang that's really horrible that we do not want in our country. Nobody wants them in our country. And the guy was basically like, yeah, that was Photoshopped. And it has come out that that was Photoshopped, that the guy did have the tattoos on his hand, yes, but the MS-13 that was written above his tattoos was Photoshopped. And Donald Trump was like basically attacking the interviewer for facts. And this is a point that, because I was watching The View and they made this point. The fact that nobody told, like Donald Trump's team, nobody told Donald Trump that is a fake image that was Photoshopped is an indication that his team are afraid of him, and they're not holding him accountable, and they're not briefing him and telling him things because they're afraid. They're afraid to. And it's the reason in this second term why he surrounded himself with sycophants, because it's people who would just do his bidding, do whatever he wants. There's not going to be any pushback, and that is very, very dangerous. That's very dangerous when your team can't come to you and say, Mr. President, that's wrong. That was Photoshop. You cannot talk about that. And so Donald Trump goes on to basically attack the interviewer for something that was proven to be Photoshopped. Now, here on YouTube, if you share some kind of AI or whatever, even if you're not aware that it is Photoshopped or AI or whatever the case, your video can be taken down. You can be demonetized for things like that on YouTube. But the President of the United States can go into a meeting, interview, and show a picture of a fake Photoshop photo of this guy's hand. This is asinine. I don't understand. Like, when I start talking about these things, I'm like, how is this the case? How is it on YouTube a person can be demonetized for sharing something they don't even realize is AI, but our president can go in an interview and show a Photoshop picture and then attack the interviewer for calling it out? So that was my little commentary regarding that. I have for you guys, I think I have two more videos, two more clips, and I want you guys to stick around because we'll talk about those clips on the other side. So take a look at this.
On day one, I mean, he made a bunch of promises. Now he's switched, and he says, well, it's going to be short-term pain, which he didn't mention at all, for long-term gain. But the long-term gain imagines that by having all these tariffs, we're going to have all this onshoring at some point. When you talk to people who know anything about it, say it's going to take 5 years. And when it comes, it's going to be American robots getting jobs because it's going to be advanced manufacturing. And so I don't think much of what he is doing is what he promised he would do. And surprise, surprise, Donald Trump sometimes doesn't tell the truth.
And Catherine, I imagine nobody is more disappointed than a lot of the folks on Wall Street and in the business community who they were optimistic about what Trump would do, and now they're facing uncertainty.
Well, there is a lot of uncertainty, and uncertainty is what kills sentiment and the market. So yes, there is a lot of fear with regard to the economic impact that tariffs could have. Certainly they're inflationary, especially when you're looking at 145. I doubt it's going to end at 145. It's probably going to be markedly lower. But irrefutably, tariffs are part of not just a negotiation.
So you guys just seen that clip, and they were basically talking about the question that the interviewer asked Donald Trump. He said, basically, there's people who support you, people who voted for you, and people who want you to win, but they're looking at all of these tariffs, and they're basically saying they didn't vote for this. And Donald Trump is like, well, they did vote for this because I was talking about tariffs on the campaign trail. He did. He talked about tariffs on the campaign trail. I think several things happened. I think most Americans didn't understand tariffs. They didn't understand how they work, and this is how tariffs work. The tax is passed down to the consumer Not 100%, but businesses are not going to eat the increase of a price, like the increase in the price. They're going to pass that price increase down to their consumers. Think about this. Our economy, inflation is still here. People are having to work more than one job. People are already saying that they're behind on their bills, and now you impose 145% tariff on China for a nation that's already in financial pain. So yes, Donald Trump, you did talk about tariffs, but I'm sure, like I said, most people didn't know what tariffs were. They didn't know how that those things were going to affect them, and they definitely didn't think that you were going to impose 145% on China. Now, I watched the video on Instagram, and it was of a Chinese man, and he said, he was basically saying nothing in his house was made in America. He was basically telling Americans, now look around your house and see how many things that were made in China. It's unfortunate because China is an adversary to America, but we rely on them making our products a lot. If you look around your kitchen, look around your living room, look in your bathroom, a lot of things say made in China. A lot of things say made in China. I understand the argument that we need to decouple from China. I get it. But right now, America is not in a position, a financial position. Americans are not in a financial position to decouple from China. And that's unfortunate. And it's a failure by both Republican and Democratic administrations that we are not in a position, our citizens are not in a position to fight with China, because we rely heavily on their products because they make things for very, very cheap. So when you are on Amazon and you see a product, most of these things are made in China. So when you impose 145% tariff on China, you're making Americans who are already in financial pain pay for that tax. And I'm pretty sure you guys are seeing some of the things, because I seen on Instagram somebody shared the billing invoice for Shein for the the clothes. I've never bought anything from Shein, but my mother shop at Shein, like everybody shop at Shein, and so they basically was showing the shipping and the tax that's associated with tariffs, and I think shipping. On that invoice, it was like shipping was like $59. And so people are starting to see what tariffs do. And so when Donald Trump was on the campaign trail and he was like, I love tariffs and tariffs and tariffs and tariffs, I think most Americans didn't understand tariffs, and they definitely wasn't expecting 145%. But here we are. And so Van Jones was basically saying, Americans didn't vote for this. They didn't vote for these tariffs. And I'm like, they did, but they didn't understand what was about to happen. I have a degree in finance. I was going to minor in economics, but I just decided not to. I just decided to minor in accounting. But I understand the economy. I don't understand every single thing, but I understand macroeconomics. I understand microeconomics. I understand the economy. So I know what tariffs mean. It means bad. It means a tax. It means more money out of your pocket. And so I don't like the word tariff. And when he said, I didn't watch most of Donald Trump on the campaign trail because I already knew who I was voting for. So I didn't watch all of that stuff. I mean, you can't get away from it. You see clips and things like that because he's been in political life and they cover him more than they cover anybody else. So it's like some of it is forced down your throat. But for the most part, I didn't watch him. But I seen him say that he loved tariffs, and I wasn't going to vote for him anyway. But if I was thinking about it, which never, but if I was thinking about it, that would have made me jump off the bandwagon right there. You said, what now? You said I have to push out more money? Get somebody else to do it. I would have signed off right there. But a lot of people in this country voted about personality. And he's a strong man, and Kamala's not black, and all of these idiotic things. And I'm like, you guys don't know what you've done. Like, you literally don't know what you've done. Because, okay, let's talk about this. The Republican Party is going to have a very difficult time reimagining their party after Donald Trump, because they've literally gone against everything that their party stands for. So Republicans and conservatives is about law and order. Our president is convicted of 34 felonies. The Republican Party is supposed to be about family values. Our president's been married 3 times and he said he grabs vaginas. Our president is supposed to be about small government. Our president is telling Jeff Bezos and other company heads and, you know, CEOs, private business owners, what to put on their website. Our president is defying judges' orders. The Supreme Court told him to facilitate the return of the guy that was sent to El Salvador, and our president said he will not do it. Our judicial branch that our Supreme Court is in is a co-equal branch of government. He's defying the Supreme Court. So people who say that they're Republican or conservative, how exactly do Donald Trump square with your beliefs and your ideologies? Explain it to me like I'm 5. Because what I see is that he's the exact opposite of what a conservative is supposed to be. So just say you love the man, because it's not about core principles or values or anything, because your party is supposed to be about family values and low government or small government, law and order. Think about all of those different things and then think about Donald Trump. Law and order? Our president was convicted of business fraud. Family values? He got 3 baby mamas, or at least 2, and been married 3 times. If Barack Obama done any of these things, everybody's hair will be on fire and their head will pop off their shoulders and roll down the street. But with Donald Trump, it's the reason people say it's a cult. Take a look at this next clip.